Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And the Eight of Wands to start us off here. I feel like you're somebody with a lot of good ideas. You know, I feel like you're a creative person. I feel that you have probably like a lot of irons in the fire. You know, you've got probably a list, a binder full of good ideas, you know. Very creative. The issue here is selecting the best option, you know. This is a card of too many options that we sometimes feel like they're all equally good. I don't know which one to choose. I feel like your intuition is going to come to guide you here. Okay? Because sometimes this is like a compass where the needle is just like spinning around and around and around, and it's just like any direction right now seems pretty equal. And whatever position you're in now feels like we can't stay in this position. We have to move in some way, right? So I think that you're trying to sort of, you're trying to pick a direction for your life right now. And I think the problem, you're trying to pick something anyway. But the problem is every option seems reasonable. Every option seems just as good as the others, you know? And I think that there's now this pressure that you're putting on yourself to hurry up and pick something, to the point where you keep putting that pressure on yourself, and eventually you're going to say, forget it. I don't want to do it at all. It's kind of, to be honest, it's my problem when I'm trying to pick a book to read. There are so many things I'm interested in, so many things I want to read, that I start kind of looking at one, I look at another, I look at another, I look at another, I look at another. I just can't decide. So I say, forget it. I'm just going to watch TV. But we can't do that all the time, right? In this situation, I feel like you need to find a way to make a decision before you reach that point of just saying, forget it. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. And let's see. Well, we've got a Death card. We have a Prince of Wands. You have a Knight of Swords. You have a Ten of Cups. You have, oh, there's the Star. Okay, great, great, great. We've got the Star. I do feel like this is part of that intuition. Okay, I feel like in a way, your intuition or your star or destiny or spirit is kind of guiding you like a river, guiding your steps. And I think that this is the slow and steady progress. Now, see, the problem is we're in a hurry. The problem is, I want to hurry up and read this book so I can get to the next book because I don't want to leave anything out. I don't want to miss out on that other book, but then I got to spend the next, 3-4 weeks maybe reading a book. It takes me a while to read because I get like an hour at night where I read. And I'm kind of a slow reader. But anyway, the Death card here kind of saying that it's going to take, any path you choose is going to take a long time. You're going to have to travel that road. But we're in such a hurry now that we don't want to commit to anything because we know that, like, if I commit to something, I got to follow through. It means I have to say no to the rest of this stuff. Okay? And so I think that it really is important now that we tap into this intuition to guide our steps. I think there's some kind of a dream or a vision that's going to point you in the right direction. Okay? Here we have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, they're very good. We have the Resistance, of course, here. Seven of Swords. We have a Princess of Wands. We have the Fool. Very nice. Allowing your steps to be guided right now by this sort of flow, by this river, by this divine energy. I think there is a dream or a vision that's going to point you in the right direction, the direction of your best life, the direction of your abundance, the direction of blessings and prosperity. I feel like you have a lot of compassion. And I feel like your compassion is what's going to bring in the right people to you. Okay? Your compassion is going to sort of magnetize and I think really like magnify your blessings in life. Okay? There are small ripples, this opposition, the Seven of Swords energy, small criticisms, yeah, small obstacles, blockages that are sort of testing your trust in your destiny, okay? I think there is this larger picture, larger destiny here that is pulling you toward your creative expression. Yeah. Pulling you toward that. I think that you have a lot more courage than you realize. I think this hidden courage under the surface here is going to appear when you let your faith lead you. Yeah. I think you've learned from the past. I think that you are ready to reveal, let's say, joy as a magnet for prosperity. I think this is a very good energy you got here. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. I set it down right here with Jimbo the Lizard King right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message, you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we can see our majors. The Death card, the slow and steady change over the course of time. The Star, okay? The hope, the faith, hope, the trust, the renewal, the inspiration. Yeah, the destiny, the intuition. We see the prosperity, the wheel of fortune, the growth, the abundance, the expansion. And we see the Fool, the creative expression, the joy. Okay. We've got fire, fire, fire. We've got water. We've got air and air. We don't have any earth cards right now. And why is there an absence of the earth cards? Because you haven't chosen the path yet. You haven't kind of picked the road. You haven't taken the first step on that road. And also the absence of the earth to remind us that it doesn't matter what you choose. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it with faith, hope, trust, joy, compassion. What matters really is how you do it and why. And what matters is that you're able to stay with it. Follow through, right? That's kind of what we have here. The reluctance to pick a path because we know that whatever path I'm on, whatever path I choose, it's going to be a lot of gradual change. It's going to be a lot of slow progress. That's the Death card. Gradual change over the course of time. So it's like I'm reluctant to start reading this book because I know it's going to take me, weeks to get through that book, and I don't know if I can handle that. That's too long, It's too long because there's all these other books I want to read too. So you see how we are kind of in a pickle, right? And so I think that we need to trust the path. We need to trust in the intuition. We need to have faith that whatever our intuition is pointing us toward right now, that we can stick with it and we can follow through, and that it will be rewarding to go through that long, slow process of transformation, going from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. Okay. But again, we're in such a hurry And we're kind of anxious now, and so we may take a couple of steps on the path and then say, oh, I'm going to read a different book. And very honestly, that's my problem. We need that commitment. We need that follow-through. That's exactly what this card is. This is automatic pilot. This is cruise control. Okay. This is a steady speed no matter what happens. I'm going to continue to read, let's say for 1 hour every night. Okay. Or a certain amount of pages or one chapter every night, even when I don't want to. It's discipline. It's courage, self-control. Okay. It's the ability to pick something and say, that's what I'm going to do. And then that's it. There's no debate. There's no questioning it. And so in some ways, it's a relief to finally make a decision and pick a path and just lock in and say, now I don't have to stress out about it. Sometimes we get that anxiety of having too many choices. In some ways, it would be easier if there was somebody else in our life, if I had a school teacher or something that just said, Paul, this is what you're reading, and that's that. That's your assignment, and you've got to stick with it. Okay, sure. And maybe we have to create what's called a Ulysses contract, right? Make it impossible that you go against that assignment. So, maybe make a deal with your friend or something that says, hey, if I quit on this, I owe you $50 or something. Like make there be some kind of a risk there, But find a way to lock in, especially once your intuition sort of guides you somewhere, and to have faith in that requires that you summon the courage. This is discipline, yeah, but this is faith. This is believing and trusting in something so much that I'm willing to do it even when I don't want to do it. Even when I'm starting to get that anxiety that says, there's all these other things out there for me. But I have faith that this is the one I'm supposed to be, the path I'm supposed to be on, the book I'm supposed to be reading. Okay? And I think that your intuitive certainty now is coming by way of some kind of a dream. Okay, it's like, I feel like this is like literally coming to you in a vision or a dream. It's the vision of your best, happiest, perfect life. It's kind of like Spirit is showing you a picture of what it's going to be like when you do this and you follow through. Even though, it's going to take a long time, and it means that I'm going to have to say no to all these other things, and it really is, I don't know if I can do that. Spirit showing you the reward with that 10. Yeah, that 10 of Cups. Spirit is showing you the vision. This is how you're going to feel when you get through reading that whole book. Not just because of what's in the book. It's almost like it doesn't matter what's in the book. Just that sense of accomplishment. So whatever this is for you, you have that 8 of Wands. You're trying to pick something. Spirit showing you which one to pick and how good it's going to feel. Being on that path and having sort of followed through and accomplished it. Gotten to the end of it, This is the payoff. This is the reward. I want you to say yes. I want you to say, I'm ready in the comments. If you're ready for this reward, this is bliss. This is satisfaction. This is fulfillment. This is like a meaningful feeling. And I feel like you're receiving that sort of vision in a dream, or maybe it's a kind of active imagination, maybe it's meditation. Following the tide here, following this divine energy, following this light, following your North Star is going to lead you exactly where you belong. Okay? And your courage, your discipline is going to appear when you allow your faith to lead you. Even though, yes, it means that you have to leave other things behind. The Knight of Swords here in the background, this feels like a lot of things that you started and never finished. I feel like you got a lot of books lying around that like you've like dog-eared like like maybe 50 pages in and never came back to it. You know, maybe a lot of projects around the house that are sort of half finished. Yeah. A lot of projects that we start and then we kind of say, well, maybe I'll save that one. I feel like this one's more important over here. And so a lot of things are left unfinished. Because the Knight of Swords is like, we're starting something with the plan to finish it. It's like, I didn't go into it thinking, I'm going to read 5 pages and then I'm going to throw it away. No. You go into it with a plan. I planned on finishing the book. But it's just, that was the plan. But it never happened, right? And hey, I got a lot of books like that too. One of these days I'll show you my library. And a lot of books that are bookmarked like right at the beginning. Like, I still need to get back to that one. Yeah. And I think it's because of the time commitment. What is the death card but time, right? The cruel reality of time. And so that's the biggest obstacle here is that, time is short. And so if I commit to reading, a 300, 400, 500 page book, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time I could be spending learning about something else, reading about something else. Well, yeah, but think about how much time we waste jumping from one thing to the other, or being involved in this debate where we're trying to figure out what to do. And I don't think this is about books for you. It could be about anything. Well, really, that's what it's about, everything. It's about you wanting to do everything and needing to lock in with a certain path, get on a certain road and commit to it. Don't start more things that are going to be left unfinished. And so I think the 10 of Cups here is the vision that you're being shown, the dream come true. That's just imagine what it would feel like to finish this. And I think that moving forward with your star card is Spirit saying, follow me. This is what you're meant to pursue right now. Okay? And I feel like this is beautiful. When you get, this is beautiful. You're following the star and it's going to lead you here. And I feel that whatever path you're supposed to take right now is showing up in an unexpected way. It's going to be a synchronicity. It's going to be a dream or a vision or something like that. Or it's going to be like a song that like the lyrics like make sense and you're like, I know what choice to make. But you have to then, once you kind of get that intuitive hit, okay, you have to follow that river all the way to the 10 of Cups. You've got to lock in. You've got to be able to keep yourself to it with that discipline and follow through. Okay. Now, on the path of the Serpent over here, we've got the Wheel of Fortune as your general energy. Yeah. I think that, this is an expansion. Okay, this is a growth. This is really an abundance that you feel. This is a divine timing card. Okay. And I think that in a way, Spirit's saying, look, you lock into this particular path now, and the rewards are going to be more than what you expect. Okay. Not only the reward of, well, you finished a book, that feels good, but also kind of the reward of realizing what you're capable. You're capable of starting something and finishing it. And I think that your courage and your discipline right now are going to lead to a lot of growth, a lot of expansion. Before you know it, you're getting through all the books. You're going to be checking them off your list quicker than you can realize. Because right now it may feel like I'm just not able to get anything done. You're trying to maybe do too many things at once. Okay. And I think you have this tremendous appetite for knowledge or for experience or for whatever this is. Maybe these are hobbies. You have so many hobbies. You want to do so many things that you end up not doing enough of any single one of them. You're trying to grow, you're trying to expand too fast. Okay, well, that's what the Eight of Wands is. It's internal pressure. You're trying to push out in all directions at once. And the Wheel of Fortune might be saying, okay, that's really good energy. Yeah, it's good that you have all of this and all this motivation and all of this interest, all this curiosity. But you have to take things, in a particular order. You can't do everything all at once. You spread yourself too thin, or the energy that would be sufficient to kind of develop yourself in a particular direction is being scattered in all these directions at once. And so the growth is very, very limited growth. This is like one of those, like those online tests where they test your personality and it gives you this weird like shape. That's kind of like it's oblong over here. It's like it's concave over here. And it's just like it's really round over here. And it's like a weird thing that kind of shows where your strongest and weakest traits are. That's kind of what I'm feeling here. That we're trying to do everything in a very, like a perfect circle. Equal expansion in all directions, but it doesn't work that way. Okay? So we have to trust that Spirit will show us where in our life, in our knowledge, in our physical health, in our spiritual practice, in our work, our career, at home, at school, in relationships, where we need to focus right now. To trust in that and walk those steps and to fill in that area of our life. And it's not exactly just going where we feel the most interest, because that's kind of just reinforcing an area of our life that's already probably strong. Maybe the Wheel of Fortune is saying that you've been pushing out in one direction too much, and your life is, instead of being a perfect circle, is a kind of an egg shape now. It's being stretched out as kind of an oval. It's it's starting to get flat like a disc. And so Spirit might be trying to show you other aspects of your life, or again, your knowledge, or whatever it is, that you need to fill in some of those other areas. Get things a little bit more rounded. Okay. But the divine timing aspect of this, it's things need to be done in according to a certain process. Okay? It's like as much as we may want to, we can't read 100 books at once. I feel like maybe 2, maybe. Depends on your nature, depends on your time. For me, 2 books at a time would be a stretch. Because I get about an hour a day where I can read. It's not ideal. I'd like more time, sure. Right now, that's what I have. So the necessity, things that are outside of our control, I can't control that right now. That's kind of the way everything's arranged right now, is I get about an hour, maybe an hour and a half every night. If I split that up into 2 different books, maybe that's too much of a compromise. If I stick to 1 book, an hour and a half, it really gives me time to sink into it, really immerse myself in the book, and really try to get a lot out of it. I guess it depends on the book, too. I kind of want to start reading The Expanse. I watched the show, and now I kind of want to get into the books, But that's also a big commitment. There's a lot of books in that series, yeah. I wish they would have made more of that. I like that show. But anyway, it's kind of knowing how we have to conform to the reality around us. Now, if I had nothing else to do in my life, then I can do 50 things at the same time. That in the morning I can do certain activities, I can have 10 hobbies, and I can just do all 10 of them consecutively every day, and it'll be fine. Life doesn't work that way. So we're having to prioritize, and we have to find a way to really figure it out. What to give our precious time to. This is divine timing. The death card is really the card of limited time, and it's weird that the time it just stretches on is infinite, right? And we don't even know if time really exists, but the universe, let's say, space-time is infinite. But sometimes in life we feel like we have so darn little of it. Time and space are the two most abundant resources in the universe, but they are the resources that we have the least amount of. So it really requires that prioritization. Okay. Now, in the environment, you have a 7 of Wands. You have to make this decision on your own with Spirit. I feel like you can't really listen to what other people are trying to tell you to do. Because I'm sure you have somebody in your life right now that's saying, oh, you know what you should do? You should read this or read that or read the other thing. And I feel like that doesn't help you. I feel like you don't trust the opinions of others. Even though maybe they're right, logically speaking. Like sometimes my wife will say, oh, I know you should read this book. And has a wonderful suggestion. But I still say no. Right? Because it's almost as if we're trying to tap into something that makes us feel like beyond the shadow of a doubt certain that, oh yes, that's the one. It's like I want Spirit to reveal to me what I'm supposed to be doing with that hour and a half every night that I have, And so the 7 of Swords is kind of saying that to you too, that you don't trust the recommendations. That for you it's limited time, and so it's very valuable time, and you want to prioritize that time. And it's very, very valuable to you. So you're not going to let anybody else, no matter how much you love them or value their opinion, you're not going to let them decide for you. Okay? You're looking for that gnosis, that direct revelation from Spirit, beyond the shadow of doubt. That's what it is. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to read, or that's what I'm going to do, or that's what I need to study now. You want that aha moment more than just, oh yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I'll do that. I feel like you need that sort of eureka moment to it. Now, you also have the Princess of Wands, so we're kind of in a bad spot here with this, with the sort of impulsive, anxious energy here, because the Princess of Wands likes to start things, doesn't follow through. This is in the position of your obstacle. That's the problem here, is that we've been starting something, but then something else interesting will pop into our head and we'll say, ooh, maybe I'll try that. And we end up leaving the first thing unfinished. And that is wasting a lot of our precious time. If I think about all the nights that I spent, kind of bouncing from one book to the other, or just scrolling through on my Apple books, like all the different things that I could read or whatever, or like pacing around the library, like looking and thinking and picking up and flipping through pages and putting stuff back, if I added up all those hours, I could have been done with dozens of books by now, And so this is really the difficult card here, because this is very, very curious. Loves the excitement of starting new things. But then it's difficult to kind of follow through when it's not so exciting anymore, or when something else starts to sound more exciting. And we end up jumping ship. Well, this is the card that's saying, I'm not doing that. Once I lock in, once I commit to something, doesn't matter what shiny thing shows up. It doesn't matter how boring this part of the book is. I committed to it. I said I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to push through. And if you can push through, you are going to be infinitely rewarded. This doesn't have to be about books. It's about anything. It's very exciting at the beginning. It's boring in the middle. But if you can push through the boring part, the reward is bliss. Every time. Doesn't matter what we're even talking about here. Okay? The Fool is ready for that. The Fool is ready to be guided. The Fool is a feather on the cosmic wind. It's a cork in the cosmic ocean. It's ready to follow the wave or whatever current Whatever current can affect you. Okay, whatever the cosmic wind is that's going to push you in a particular direction, you're ready for that spiritual guidance. You're ready to be nudged by spirit. You're ready to follow that river of your intuition. You're ready to let this tide carry you exactly where you belong. Now let's look at the mystery card. I don't know, maybe this will be some sort of a card of focus. So it could be an ace, it could be a devil card, it could be another prince. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. 7 of Cups, yeah. 7 of Cups. Those shiny things along the way that are going to distract you. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, something shiny over there. Because sometimes the path we're on starts to seem boring and dull. And I'm at just a really dense part of the book. I'm not feeling the reward. I'm not feeling all excited reading this one. All these other things over here seem so much better than they actually are. So much better than they actually are. But if we can ignore these and stick with it, the reward is going to be way better than these even look at all. These are going to be nothing. This is nothing. This is that infinite reward of infinite bliss. Overcoming the very tempting distractions that are trying to get you to sort of jump ship and do something else, do something more fun, more exciting, do something more glamorous, do something that's more immediately gratifying. Okay, it's very hard to resist that. It does take a lot of courage and a lot of discipline. That's what's being called on by Spirit for you in your life right now. Now we're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner here. There's a link in the video description here. New readings for Pisces Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.